こんな。
次、それをされたらキスされちゃうの？私。
あ、ユキもキスしたいとき、俺をつねろよ。
そんなの恥ずかしくてできません。
And my friends, just like that, another episode ends after about 5 minutes. All right, at least that's how it feels, you know, at least to me. It's like a sign of affection. This episode was really, really great. And, you know, finally we're getting to the point of the show to where the romance, like, has officially started. So, like, that's kind of where we are right now is, you know, Yuki and 𝐒𝐴TSUMI's, you know, their romance has officially started. They kind of announced themselves. You know, you have our boy 𝐒𝐴TSUMI who's basically showing her off everywhere, which is exactly what you do when you're in love and, you know, you want to share something that's really important to you with the people who are important to you. And for 𝐒𝐴TSUMI, you know, that's his friends. 𝐼zumi, that's his, you know, that's his friends, you know, Emma, who's gonna be very soon. You know, these are his very, like, you know, ride or die close friends, and he wants to kind of show them off and stuff like that. And I thought that was really endearing and it's really cute. But this episode kind of shifted to 𝐼zumi, which is Emma's 𝐼zumi, I think his name is, yeah, which is Emma's friend, and, or, you know, it's 𝐒𝐴TSUMI's friend, but, you know, he's the one who's the hairstylist who he went to go show her off to, and he's the one who's been chasing Emma. And, you know, if you're familiar with the channel, in most cases, I am not a big fan whatsoever of, you know, flashbacks and backstories. But this one, because we've kind of already gotten the, how should I say it? We've hit the climax. We've hit the, you know, that, like, feel good zone of the show. It's like, if you think of 𝐒𝐴TSUMI as the hero, and Yuki as the demon lord, like, he's conquered the demon lord, right? Like, he's like, we've seen the ending. He's done the thing, you know. Now it's just kind of like going from here, which we typically don't get too often in romance animes. Usually we build 12 episodes up to them holding hands, maybe a kiss if we're really lucky. Maybe they actually announce their relationship. But most cases, like, we're left on some stupid cliffhanger or something like that. So, like, we've hit the promised land with this show. So, with that being said, I don't mind the backstory or the flashback this episode, because I really feel like it fills in the gap on how 𝐒𝐴TSUMI came in to be in a friendship with Emma, with 𝐼zumi, and kind of like where they started and kind of like how it went. And it really was 𝐼zumi and Emma and their friendship relationship starting first, and then 𝐼zumi screwing up at, you know, being reactive, and Emma being very forthcoming with her feelings. And it seems like it's kind of been that way for years. And I love the writing of this show because it's very realistic. And what I'm about to say might piss some people off a little bit, but I'm gonna have to be okay with that. And this is not everybody. This is not, you know, there's a 1% to what I'm about to say, but the 99%, this is mostly true, is the writing so good and so realistic. It really shows that for the most part, right? Because there's that 1%. For the most part, men and women can't be friends. And there's always some kind of underlying want within that friendship. 𝐼zumi and Emma are a perfect example, right? Is Emma, within this friendship, has always been friends with 𝐒𝐴TSUMI because she wants to be with him romantically. Emma didn't see 𝐼zumi, or at least not consciously, as a romantic partner. She's friend-zoned this guy. He has became friends with her kind of like through happenstance, but ended up romantically, you know, falling in love with her, but has realized that she doesn't feel that way about him, so he doesn't press his luck. So he just kind of hangs around until his chance may potentially come. And where I say that's realistic is, like, that happens to a lot of people. And a lot of times, people will say like, oh, you have male friends, or oh, you have female friends, or whatever. It's like, oh, how's that? And for the most part, people always like, oh, it's just this or that. But there's always something there. If you're the man is and you're friends with this woman, it's typically because you have no, like, if you're legitly like, if this man's saying like, oh yeah, I'm 100% friends, it's because this dude has no romantic interest in this girl for whatever reason. But more often than not, she has seen him in that light, so she's sticks around, and the vice versa is true. A lot of times when a woman says like, "Oh yeah, like this is my friend," but like he's like a brother, he's like like that. It's because she's never seen him in that light, but it's always the opposite. So that's where I think like this anime really shines. It kind of shows that side of, yeah, that's really how it be, for the most part. Again, you do have that 1% of just truly platonic friendships, but the reality is if you were to take being friends with 10 folks, there's probably maybe one that's truly platonic, the other 9, there's, it's either you felt this way or they felt that way. There's something there. It's just kind of how real life works. It's just kind of how it is, it's how we're programmed for the most part. So I really like being able to see that, and it's again a realistic interpretation of, yeah, this is what ends up happening more often than not in life. And of course they're still friends, and of course eventually one side might give up or something. And I guess like the next realistic step in this writing would be at some point this Izumi guy just kind of legitly throws in the towel and maybe meets somebody who he feels that same spark as he did with Emma, and something happens there, and Emma doesn't get 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭, and then she realizes that the guy that it's a very tropeistic thing, but she realizes that the guy that's she should have cared for and felt that way for it has always been there, and now she's lost her chance too. Like there's always that kind of like, that's like the next evolution of this, is this Izumi guy kind of like going like, my chance is never going to come, and then kind of moving on. So I love being able to see that. And I like this. It very much reminds me of Horimiya. Is if you never watched Horimiya, I definitely say go watch it. It's probably one of the best romantic anime out there. But what that anime did really good, did really well and did really good with was, it was about these two characters, and then they fell in love and stuff. But then it would show us the side characters, like their friends and their friends falling in love and getting romantic relationships. And the show didn't suffer when it pivoted towards them. So in this episode, I felt like pivoting over to Izumi and pivoting over to Emma and what's happening there, the show didn't suffer this episode. Of course, we still got some 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭, we still got some Yuki, you know what I mean? But it didn't, nothing was sacrificed from an entertainment standpoint, I thought. Also, 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭 learning more sign, I think is really awesome. He's getting more proficient at it, getting more comfortable with it. Her friend kind of being open-minded to potentially learning sign as well too. I think that's really dope. And then they're gonna go to this next. Like group outing kind of thing, which is gonna be really cool to see as well. So overall, Sign of Affection is just like, it's a masterpiece. I think we could probably call it at this point like it's a masterpiece. Again, it's in a very specific box, in a very specific genre. But within that box, within that genre, it is a masterpiece, and it is really, really, really good. I'm never disappointed at the end of watching this, and it just like, it continually impresses, and I just love this show. So, anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this anime in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about all my absurd commentary, whether you agree or don't agree, and within the context of the show, let me know what you think. So, all right, peace out, my friends. See you next weekend.